A friend of mine recently showed me this clip of Star Wars Episode 3.
With me, then you're my enemy.
Only a Sith deals in absolutes. I will do what I must.
This is the scene when Obi-Wan and Anakin are on Mustafar, in which Obi-Wan states that only a Sith deals in absolutes. And that made me ask myself, was Kylo Ren, aka Ben Solo, actually a Jedi Knight? Disclaimer, I am a fan of Star Wars, and this is merely a thought experiment. So forgive me for any discrepancies or inconsistencies pertaining to the lore in books, comics, or episodes. Darth Vader was a Sith apprentice who resigned, likewise to Luke, both apprentices of Darth Sidious. I give an alternate approach to this idea that Kylo was actually an apprentice to Snoke, but only under the First Order. Snoke was not a Sith. To simplify the matter, he was just an artificial humanoid created by Darth Sidious, who then in turn gained power under the First Order. So that leads to my next question. What does it take to be a Sith? Is it merely being evil and committing heinous crimes, or do you have to apprentice under a Sith, Lord or Master? Now, I believe the latter merely because a lot of people can join the wrong side and simply denounce Sithdom. I mean, look at Finn. He was a stormtrooper who essentially stopped playing for the bad guys and switched sides, which I'll get into later. This is a false equivalency, but it also shows how you can join the bad side first and then renounce it later. Now to analyze the line for what it is. I've seen tons of analysis of the phrase, how Obi-Wan was actually being hypocritical, and how the line reflects Obi-Wan's processing in turn. I want to look at this phrase literally instead, taking Obi-Wan's words as truth and using it to analyze Kylo's decision making. First, we have to look at the definition of absolute, which is defined as something all-encompassing. As Anakin states, essentially, you're either for or against him. You're either pro-Sith or not. Now, before I break down Kylo Ren, I'm not saying that everything that he says or does has to be an absolute. Rather, let's take a look at his choices relative to absolutes and see if they align true to a Sith or a Jedi Knight. In Episode 7, when Han Solo confronts Kylo, he calls him Ben. Han is speaking to Ben and not Kylo in this instance. Ben has been torn, and this is in part a large portion of why I believe he is not a Sith. If Siths only deal in absolutes, wouldn't have Ben totally made up his mind? Why the back and forth? He states that he knows what he has to do, but doesn't know if he has the strength to do it. Now, that can be taken as transforming into good, but I also think that it's his choice to becoming a Sith. Yes, he kills Han Solo, but I want to get into that a little later. In Episode 8, Ben and Rey are connected in Force Bond by Snoke. Rey asks Ben why he hated his father, and I think his explanation openly admits his insecurities. He says no, he did not hate his father, but Rey and him shared the same sentiment in looking for a father in people. Ben looked for a father in Luke too, and he was let down. Fast forward to my favorite part in Episode 8 and the throne room scene. Ben was not dealing in absolutes when he asked Rey to join him. He simply said, and I quote, "Join me, please." To me, he was still giving her a choice, still keeping the communication open-ended. So let's tie everything together in the signifying event as to why I believe Ben was actually a Jedi Knight. To keep everything as generic as possible, and of course in my puny brain, if you're not a Sith, then you're a Jedi. In Episode 9, we see Ben's internal conflict when he was talking with Han's ghost. In short, he saves Rey, and that is the ultimate task that made him a Jedi. He switched sides like Finn, and he made a decision by flip-flopping between two radical sides of the spectrum. One, killing Han, and then making the overwhelming choice to save Rey. Like Vader, his choice to be a Sith was not fixed. Ben was not consistent in being a Sith. If Siths liked dealing in absolutes, and Rey had to kill Palpatine to fulfill the prophecy to become a Sith, then Ben had to save Rey in order to become a Jedi. The following program was funded by viewers like you. Thank you. But in all seriousness, thank you guys for watching, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, comment down below. Thank you so much for watching, and see you around.